Hey guys, I am here today to talk about chopping and propping Anthurium. I get asked questions about this all the time. And to be fair, in the beginning, I was totally afraid to chop and prop Anthurium as well. But over time, I figured it out, and now I will chop and prop just about anything. Um, I'll get fresh imports, I'll get new plants, I'll get, if anything's looking iffy, I will chop and prop. So you don't have to be afraid of it. Let me show you how to do it. Of course, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean all of our tools and our workspace. I have alcohol mixed with water, and I literally just spray everything down. My primary tool for chopping and propping is one of these surgical blades. It's like a little X-Acto knife, and you can swap these out. This is actually a brand new fresh blade, so it's nice and sharp. Be very careful with these. And today we're going to do my pink lemonade pap. This is a parent to a few of my babies. She's got a decent sized chonk. I'm probably going to chop off this old leaf to make my life easier. And we're going to get a couple cuttings out of her. Don't be afraid to chop leaves off, guys. If they're not pretty or in your way. So we have quite a bit of a chunk here. So we can actually, I will probably, I don't know. I usually guesstimate, but we will see what our plan is here as we go. I kind of figure it out as I go. Sometimes I'll just do a little bit. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more. Um, but I know I think because we got these good roots here, I'm going to go right below this really good set of roots here with the first chop. And I'm just going to get in here with this X-Acto blade. And be very careful, especially as you get to the end there. One, you don't want to come through the back, which I've done many a times, and cut off that back root. So, bam, we got our mama plant still good, happy, and I will get her potted up, and I will remove any of these wiggly bad roots. We don't want any bad roots going back into that soil. So overall, she's got a pretty good set of roots. And then I'm also going to clean this up because I don't like any of the sheath. You can get some rot there with that. So I will just clean this up a little bit. This is where this X-Acto knife's kind of nice because I flip it around to the back side and just use like the point and the back side to kind of use it. And I'm not cutting the plant, I'm just scraping off all of the excess sheath and gunk, just so we don't have any, like I said, any extra rot. And this can be very tedious. All right. All right. Went and found a pot. And kind of, this should be just about perfect for her. I have my soil. And I personally, I know a lot of people like to use different rooting products and all of that. I will just water this with my foliage focus and root zone. And then I actually got recently, Soul Soils gave me some of their repot stuff that I mix in. I can't even remember the name of it. But I'm just now starting to try that out. So bam, now she's perfect. Put her tag back in there, which is starting to fade. I should probably print a new one. But so top cut done. Now I'm going to wash my hands and get started on the next part. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get rid of quite a bit of these roots. With my props, I really don't care about having a ton of roots. I would rather have no roots than bad roots. So I will get rid of especially all the extra long ones. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to take off all of the secondary roots. And I do this when I get imports in as well. I remove well, yeah, pretty much all the secondary roots and leave only the primary healthy good roots. A lot of times when you are repotting, if you have a ton of roots, you can actually harm your plant more, especially if you disturb all of the roots like this. If you take it out and do a complete and utter repot, if these roots are touching each other, a lot of them are going to actually rot, especially the secondary roots. The primary roots are a little bit stronger, but in my experience, I have lost more plants due to root rot due to the secondary roots. So I just take that possibility out of the way and remove all of the secondary roots. Now I'm going to go rinse this. Now, as I'm sitting here messing with this, I'm realizing, see how wobbly this root is? That means it's pretty much broken right here. I'm going to take that off. We are not going to deal with any possible as soon as that starts breaking, that's going to rot. So then I'm going to just take my X-Acto knife in here. There is a little tiny bit of rot on this stem right here, but I do have a growth point, an active growth point right here. So I am going to well, maybe actually that was a little rotted, so never mind. So it was probably a really good thing that I decided to chop and prop this right now, because this has quite a bit of stem rot right here. So sometimes the world works out in amazing ways. Okay, let's find our next. I'm going to chop this root off just because it's not very good. Just because you think you know what's going on, you don't always. All right, we got another. Let's see what we look like here. Okay, because I'm not sure about this top growth point, if it's going to come back. I'm going to pretend that it's not a good one. And we're just going to I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to cut below it so that the next active growth point is there. And then if one continues after that. So my first really good one that I see is this one right here. Kind of see it there. So I'm going to cut below that, and then it's really only going to give me 2 cuts out of this. That's fine. I mean, really, sometimes when you chop and prop, you really only need 1. So I'm going in below that, giving myself on this one an extra node just in case, to keep it nice and healthy. So now we're going to have 2. And this one, actually, there's a growth point right there. So that worked out perfect. So we'll end up with 2 chunks out of this. Well, technically 3 if you count the top. So I'm going to remove this top root. So it's not going to do me much good up there. It's just going to be in my way. Just be very careful, because there's times I get in here and I go a little too crazy and then I will lose. Actually, this has 2 active growth points down here. So if this wasn't so small, I would chop this again if this was bigger. But so we got 1 right here and 1 right here. So we got 2 growth points on here. Like I said, I'm going to leave that with the 2. Totally fine. I'd rather leave them both than try. That's too tight of a cut for me to want to do. So I'm going to take this, and I've already prepped my cups. So I got little deli cups. I'm going to use some moss and perlite. And I have a little bit of horticultural charcoal in there to help keep it from molding. I find that helps a lot. Just the moss and perlite. Sometimes I'll get mold. So, and I'll probably add a little bit more in here. But I try to get that down nice and low, because your growth is going to come up and it's going to hit the top. So lightly moist, not too wet, not too dry. You don't want these to dry out, but you don't want them to be sopping wet and then to mold. And then you're going to pot it up just like that. You're going to throw this under some grow lights, and you're ready to go. and you have a prop, and then here soon, you're going to have some babies. And I'm going to do the same for this one. So, and you want to make sure your roots aren't touching. And if they are touching, just chop some roots off. They'll be okay. Don't. Anthurium are way stronger than you give them credit for. So, and then we're going to put a lid on that because I had already, and that's the wrong size lid. Let's grab this one. There we go. Hey guys, that's it. That's how you chop and prop your Anthurium. Was it easier? Was it harder than you think it is? Hopefully it's easier. I hope that helps. Like I said, one of the quickest ways I've found to lose an Anthurium is by root rot and that spreading up into your stem, and then you lose the whole plant. So definitely recommend it if you think your plant is iffy, you're seeing it decline. If you start seeing leaves that are getting smaller instead of bigger, if your plant starts to wobble, your plant should be pretty sturdy. If it starts to wobble, that means its root base is kind of not so sturdy. So you want to get in there and check those roots. Like I said, no roots is better than root rot, I have found. So get in there, check those roots. If you have a good chunk, chop and prop that baby, guys. Make yourself some clones. It's better to have duplicates of your plant just in case something goes wrong with the other. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Let me know. Did it help you? Are you going to try it? And let me know what you guys want to hear about next, what you guys want to know about next. And we'll keep sharing the knowledge. Anyway, have a fabulous day, guys.